For years, my dad and I have had this little ongoing joke where we send each other MLS listings of properties that are available up north for an affordable price. Well, on Father's Day in June 2022, we found this property. And while we were gathered together as a family with my sister and brother and our partners and kids, we decided that maybe we should take the leap and actually go visit one of these properties. And this is the day that we fell for this tiny little forgotten cabin at the end of a dead-end road near Kearney, Ontario. Now, you can tell this is a really basic cabin. There is electricity, there is a wood stove, there is no running water, which means there is no bathroom other than the outhouse that we dug. And the inside isn't in the best shape, and there were just piles of junk everywhere in all of the outbuildings, just garbage filling trailers and in the bushes. Old trailers and boats and giant pieces of machinery and appliances just thrown all around the property. So we knew that if we took this leap, it would be a huge amount of work. But we also realized that this property had a huge amount of potential. This whole property goes from one paved road all the way straight through to another paved road on the back side of the lot. There is tons of forest and a little creek that runs around both sides of the property, which you can see here. The forest hasn't really been taken care of, and the creek could do with a little bit of a clean. But the locals tell us that this turns into a beautiful rushing river in the spring, which we are so excited to explore for ourselves. Because as you can probably tell already, immediately after seeing this property, we put in an offer and were lucky enough to purchase it. As I mentioned before, it's located on a paved road, and there are 2 separate public access beaches to the lake. And both beaches are just a quick 5 or 10 minute walk away from our cabin. And they are so secluded. Each time we've gone, there's been maybe one family there. Most of the time, it's like the whole lake is just ours to enjoy. The property is located right on the edge of Algonquin Provincial Park, but this paved road means that we can get here and explore even in the winter months, which I just recently got back from a winter trip this past weekend. These clips you're seeing are of the back end of the property where the previous owners used it a bit like a dumping ground. But don't worry, we are going to take care of that. I can't wait to see my nephew and both of my kids grow up helping to care for this property and making memories here. This clip is the best video I have from when we first took over the cabin. This is from our very first visit where we were able to stay and work and explore. And you can see here, I believe this was taken after we had already done a full dump run. And yet there were still giant appliances and sheets of metal that we were finding all hidden throughout the forest, all around the property. We worked hard on that first little while, and as you saw, the cabin's not very big, so we did spend lots of our time sleeping in tents while everyone was there together helping. But once we started clearing the property, we found all of these beautiful little trees that were growing. So many different evergreen trees that are going to fill out and make the property even more beautiful. Thankfully, we were able to move that giant boat out of the way. And now with all of the junk and big rocks cleared out of the way, it's a much more calming view when you visit the property. This is my favorite entrance into the woods. And you can go really far back into the property. I would say the back half is quite marshy. This was a very dry summer, this past summer. So in these video clips, the creek isn't really running and everything looks a little parched, but I can't wait until the spring because I know that this property will just explode. What I don't think I captured is the whole ground where I'm walking here is actually wild strawberry plants. And there are tons of berry bushes lining the outskirts behind the tents on the right-hand side. There is a vast abundance of firewood, and we've had many giant summer bonfires. And one of the treasures that my family loves, and maybe I don't so much, were those barbershop chairs, because the previous owner used to run a barbershop and had left all of their supplies. Now some people might think this is gross, but we dug a brand new outhouse for this property. We spent hours digging and lugging dirt. Mostly my partner did the digging and lugging dirt. And for now, that is our washroom setup. We're working to set up a rain catchment system and to put some proper eaves troughs on the cabin. But until then, it's looking pretty good. Now, a member of my family is very organized, so unfortunately the cabin does not look anything like this anymore, as they have been working through their different organizational practices and finding ways to make the furniture fit in the best in our small space. Keep in mind there are 9 of us that share this cabin, and we also have family who have a cottage on the same lake and are often visiting. So that can bring our total up to around 13 plus people if we're all getting together. Our main focus during the summer months was to tidy up in the outside and to make that area safe and welcoming, and to let our neighbors know that we care about this property now and we're going to keep it up. But this next year, I think we are all very excited to give the inside of the cabin a bit of a facelift, hopefully put down some proper floors, maybe a fresh coat of paint in a couple of the rooms, and just to give it a little facelift. Now, this was an exciting day. For a while we talked about possibly renovating the inside of this vintage trailer. However, what you can't see is that the wheels are totally shot on this thing. And it was left in a rather unfortunate place where it would be much better for us to use that as parking or an entrance into the woods. So this day we worked really hard to place the trailer in a better spot. But at this point, I think we're going to let the trailer renovation go, as the inside is quite bad. It was full of old rugs and just a lot of garbage that the previous owners had left behind. So I think this trailer might be destined for greener pastures. Like, there's no air in those tires. Oh, yeah. Even though we were busy putting together this cabin and making it livable and safe for the kids, one of our favorite parts of this area is the town of Kearney, and we were able to take possession of the cabin in time to go to the famous Kearney Regatta. Our kids had so much fun. This whole fair was amazing. There were local vendors and delicious food and a parade. Just so many incredible things that our kids could take part in, and they're going to have incredible memories of doing things that kids should be doing sack races and egg races and hot dog eating contests. Like, when is the last time you've seen a hot dog eating contest in person? Oh, that first weekend was just so much fun. And in Kearney, I was also able to experience the biggest, most intense fireworks show I have ever seen. We have watched fireworks in big cities before, and it was nothing compared to this. I'm looking forward to a more relaxed season in 2023 where we can explore more and head deeper into Algonquin like we did on this day that we visited Rain Lake. And our next adventure will be portaging from here. The first fall, my family wasn't able to make it, but my parents and sister-in-law and brother were, and they sent these clips of the gorgeous fall colors. I'm so happy to have shared our little cabin in Northern Ontario with you. I can't wait to share some more of our adventures during our first winter.